Elizabeth and I want to wish you a very happy Christmas. The idea of the video is to make it a bit more personal as we share our family news. Back in March, Elizabeth and I travelled by Eurostar to Paris. We had seen a documentary about the restoration of Notre Dame Cathedral, and we wanted to see what progress had been made. The building felt amazingly bright and spacious. The famous rose windows had been cleaned and everything was fresh and new. The best thing about the restoration was the new lighting. It had clearly been designed to draw attention to the elegance of the architecture without being visible from floor level. Kingsfolk has been particularly busy over the year with around 30 gigs in the calendar. One of the first events was the Burns Night Supper and Ceilidh at Emmanuel Church. As ever, it was a very popular evening and we had to restrict ticket numbers to make sure people could dance without crashing into the others. Another standout event was when we played for the ladies' night at an Islamic wedding. I was asked if I could provide an all-ladies band so that the dancers could take part without their headscarves. It was explained that Islamic women are not allowed to remove their headscarves if there are men present that they don't know. I set up everything and then went off to find a coffee shop, but the band was commended for playing for groups with special requirements. Walking continues to be a regular part of my life. Every month, a friend organises a trip to somewhere like the South Downs, and a group of us meet up suitably dressed for an energetic walk. We usually cover 5 or 6 miles and always finish with a pub lunch. All of us in the group are at a similar age of life and we have similar backgrounds, so conversation is easy and always very stimulating. In October, I spent a long weekend in Durham with some of my walking friends. We arranged guided tours of the cathedral, the ancient library, and the magnificent stained glass windows in the cathedral. We learned all about St Cuthbert, who is regarded as the patron saint of Northumbria, and whose tomb is in the cathedral. It's next to the tomb of the Venerable Bede. Some of us enjoyed evensong in the cathedral, and on the Saturday we visited the Beamish Open Air Museum. In May, my Ceilidh band led the dancing at the wedding of Jocelyn Coates and Andy Frith. Jocelyn has been a key member of Kingsfolk since she was 14 years old, so it was a really exciting occasion. We accompanied Jocelyn when she gave a stunning performance of 500 miles, which was a lovely surprise for Andy. A watershed moment for the family came with the death of Elizabeth's mother in August. Pam had been growing more frail in recent years, but was doing really well for someone who was almost 99 years old. Remarkably, she'd been living independently in her flat until a month before her passing, and her mind was alert and sharp right up to the end. The Thanksgiving service at Emmanuel was a wonderfully positive occasion. Pam had touched many lives, and she'd had a big impact on her church friends. Sheridan performed a version of Pam's favourite song, We'll Meet Again, with words that he'd written specially for the service. That evening, the whole family sat around our dining table and we celebrated her rich and inspirational life. In September, our granddaughter Grace started school, and this meant that we were no longer needed in Old Windsor every Thursday and Friday. This enabled us to plan a holiday of more than a few days, and we went to Malta. For me, the best part of the holiday was spent in St Paul's Bay, where we could see the rocky islands where Paul was famously shipwrecked. Harriet and Lee have had an interesting year. Lee left his job with Lidl and became the manager of a large Morrisons store. Before he started, he spent several weeks in training. He had to learn about all the things that are unique to Morrisons. At the same time, he is one of the church wardens at Egham Parish Church, and he's studying to become an ordained minister in the Church of England. Harriet is also working hard, and she's been promoted to the role of Lead Protection Officer, which means that she has oversight of child protection concerns across Hillingdon. Grace was given a place at their first choice of primary school, which is a state C of E foundation located in the middle of Windsor Great Park. It's called the Royal School because it was set up by Queen Victoria for the children of staff at Windsor Castle and for those who work in the park. The pupils actually come from a wide area, and they enjoy what must be the most idyllic setting for learning. The attractive Victorian buildings are surrounded by fields and woodland as far as the eye can see. In March, Harriet is expecting the arrival of her second child, so there's going to be even more activity and joy for the family. Sheridan and Lydia moved into their own home in March. Their small back garden is completely private, and they love entertaining friends and family. Lydia works as an employment representative with the Royal College of Nursing, and Sheridan works in 2 secondary schools as a visiting music teacher. At the same time, he is building up his work as a professional musician. His band, the Boulevards, has played for some prestigious events in different parts of the UK and Germany, and they have been on a number of Royal Caribbean cruises in the Far East, the Mediterranean, and across the Atlantic. Carlton has worked on some very exciting projects with his Scenic Arts Company. One job involved making fiberglass chests for a Disney-themed cruise ship. Another was building an exhibition area in the Maritime Museum in Greenwich. More recently, he was constructing an ice rink at the Battersea Power Station. Carlton is still living in a chalet in the garden, and when he goes on holiday, he takes his self-built mobile home. He uses his bike for short journeys, and he avidly recycles everything. A great ambassador for sustainability. Lincoln loves his job on the stage management team at the Duke of York's Theatre. A standout moment for him this year was when he was mentioned on the Saturday Live food programme on the BBC. Brie Larson was talking about her role in a play and said how much she enjoyed the cocktail sessions organised by Lincoln. She was referring to the regular Thursday night drinks parties when Lincoln mixes cocktails for the cast and crew at the theatre. Elizabeth has been able to get involved with some of the children's work at Emmanuel in the last year. She goes to the toddler group on occasions to chat to the mothers and often helps with the crèche during morning services. She enjoys swimming and is currently building up the number of lengths she can get to during the 1-hour sessions at the New Addington pool. Elizabeth has some very long-standing friends whom she meets over lunch from time to time. Some she has known since school days, and others are people she trained with in the 1970s. We really hope you have a good Christmas and that the new year is a good one too.